Housemaid review. Also gonna do some plate shrugs. So The Housemaid is a new thriller starring Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried. Quick summary of what happens. So you've got Sydney Sweeney, who wants this job as a housemaid, and we're given the information early on that she really needs this job because she's on parole of some kind. We don't know all the details, but this is kind of what is used as, I guess, an excuse throughout the movie for her not leaving her situation, okay? And Amanda Seyfried is the woman who's hiring her, and basically she lives with her husband in this really big house. She has a young child, and that is the situation, which very quickly turns into a scary psychological thriller, bit of mystery, etc., okay? I've decided for this review, I'm going to talk spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled on this movie right now, come back after you've seen it and you'll get the Saxon Gym review, okay? But until then, in these movies, I can't help but try and solve them before the movie tells me what happened. But Amanda Seyfried's performance was so good that I actually wasn't 100% sure what was ever going to happen. I thought there were a lot of good misdirects. And it's one of those things where after the plot twist is revealed, you can kind of look back and be like, oh wow, they actually had the crumbs here, there, and everywhere for it. So it was pretty good. I hurt myself from doing lighter weights, sorry guys. So at the start of the movie, you know, we get the whole impression that this is nice, but we already know from the trailers that like, it's not gonna be that way. And very quickly, you know, after she commits to the job, she goes wacko psycho immediately. And she does a really good job at selling that she actually is this psycho, which, you know, we find out later that she is obviously doing this as an act to get out of this abusive situation. But I did think maybe it was a bit much. I get she was trying to play into her husband's hero complex, try and save Sydney Sweeney's character, but it was just a bit excessive with some of the things she was doing to mess with her. Like she was doing things that the husband wouldn't even know was happening. And I guess she's really trying to make Sydney Sweeney's character terrified. At least to me, in the hindsight of the movie, I feel like it was a little bit excessive how much she was tormenting this poor girl, okay? I don't even think it was subtle foreshadowing when the movie opened with that scene where they're looking at the staircase and they kind of say, oh, the staircase will be the death of me. From that moment, like, okay, someone's gonna die in this staircase. Okay, the rest of this review is just Sax, no more gym. I hurt myself, sorry, no more gym for today, sorry. Let me adjust the camera. Another thing I think this movie did really well was the soundtrack. They had a lot of operatic singing in the songs in the really eerie way, and I think that always builds a lot of tension. I thought the use of music throughout the movie was really good. It really built the tension. For context, I think this is based on a book, which I wasn't aware of. So anything I'm saying about this, if it applies to the book too, it applies to the book, whatever. I'm a everything reviewer at this point, I guess. I thought it did a pretty good job too of covering for potential plot inconsistencies. Like they kind of made, especially with Amanda Seyfried's character, they made it like, okay, she really just can't leave because the guy did everything in his power to basically make it so even if she tries to leave, she's gonna get under arrested because of all the seeds he's sown in the police and the communities. Like they all think she's this psycho. I wasn't gonna say it because I'm usually very positive, maybe too positive, but I'm not the biggest fan of the leads acting in this movie. At least to me, pretty one-dimensional performances, and maybe that's just the character. Maybe this is me being too harsh despite having 0 credits to my name. It wasn't bad just by comparison, okay? When you're comparing to someone that's kind of driving the narrative of the plot, it makes it, I guess the contrast is a bit bigger. The thing I thought was hilarious was the very last scene of the movie. So for context, I'm assuming you've seen the movie, but for context, this is after everything's resolved. And credit to the main guy too. I thought he did a really good job playing this narcissistic guy. His character was pretty convincing, especially when he had that, I guess, character break when he went from being this cool, collected guy throughout the whole movie and then suddenly, you know, it really made him a scary guy because he was able to deceive everyone this whole time into thinking, like he deceives everyone into thinking it's this one thing. And convinced me too. I feel like it's kind of a normal assumption to think he might have been involved in some way, like he might be the main antagonist. Do you even call these people antagonists in movies like this? You know what I'm saying? Could he be the main one? I feel like it's one of the main conclusions to go to, but because Amanda Seyfried's acting was so good, I actually thought maybe it is really her. Maybe he's gonna be the one that dies. It really made me think that. Oh yeah, the funny bit. So at the very end, after the funeral, blah, 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 the movie ends with a scene where she's getting another housemaid job, and it basically implies that she's been recommended to this woman to also kill her husband. So now they've basically made her out to be this, I guess, assassin, which I thought was so funny. I don't know if it was meant to be funny, but I thought it was so funny. I thought it was a weird choice to kind of roll into the assassin thing. I mean, I guess she's killed 2 people now that have been harassing women, and I guess good for her. And that, like, you know, not all justice is legal. Don't play this back at me in some future, please. I also thought the groundskeeper character would have a bigger role because he made it seem like he was also a victim of some kind, but he was just kind of there for like 1 scene, 2 scenes. I don't think the movie really would have changed whether or not he was in it. Everything really seemed to work out, I thought, narratively, so I was happy with that. The plot twist was really, I'll say the plot twist was really good. I'll say it was really good. I think it actually makes a rewatch somewhat of a cool option because then you can go back with hindsight of what happens and you can probably pick up on more details. Like, for one, there was like a pill in the toilet, which would have, obviously she doesn't need the pills because she's not insane. I didn't say, but I thought the ending as well, like beating the guy, locking him in the room, that was very satisfying. Like, it was very satisfying. It's a good movie to watch. Like, you get engrossed into it. It gives you payoff. It's good. It's good feeling movie, okay? It sends you on a journey. It sends you on a journey. Yeah, and the one other thing with the resolution, like, it's satisfying that the cop obviously knew this guy was bad news and kind of just let it slip. But I don't know if it's that simple in reality, but I'm willing to let it go past for the sake of my enjoyment of the movie. I do think sometimes when you overthink a movie too much, you're just ruining it for yourself. So watch it, enjoy it. No, I'm not saying don't criticize movies, okay? There's a lot of movies I hate with a passion. Will I ever talk about these? Maybe. Maybe if something new comes out that I'm overly passionate about that I don't like. Like, I mean, I've talked about stuff I don't like, but with that said, Housemaid gets. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, and I'm gonna put it in the category of good thriller, would watch. This is a good movie for most people, and it's not too scary, and I'm a scaredy cat in movies, and it's not too scary because it's just a good thriller. Okay, and with that said, Sax and Jim is out. Bye-bye, everyone. Stay sexy.